right, so we're talking about empathic leadership and communication skills. And this is something that I do speaking events on, and I actually built my course around to help you, because from the Christian perspective, which is who I work with, the men are the leaders of the household. So we went into depth about why that is and how that works in our last video, but I'll definitely connect so that you can see that too. But there is a structure in how it's done where the woman can still have modern ways and still be able to be led without being affected in terms of her being her full self and living out her full calling. So that's what's so special. My husband and I were able to do it. So if you are in a place where you definitely are ready to not be lonely anymore in all the success that you've gotten with your degrees, with your work, with everything that you've gotten, you're empathic, you're kind, you're a great catch, but you're lonely. And part of the reason is because you keep attracting the wrong women who like all those things, and that's about it. They like the car and the degrees and your status and all those things, and maybe even your looks and your everything, whatever the case is. But a lot of the men that I'm working with, that's not necessarily what women are looking for, because women are different from men. They're not necessarily looking for looks. They're looking for all these other things that on the surface that we think are important. I want to propose to you that they're also looking for something deeper. The right woman is looking for, sure, she'd love all those things. You want to be compatible with her, and she wants you to be compatible with what she has. If she's has a degree and she's got stuff going on and she's a leader. But what she's really longing for and looking for, the right traditional Christian woman, for a joyful, lasting marriage, God's way, she's looking for a leader. Someone that could actually lead. She's thinking about her children. She's thinking about her future with you. Are you going to be able to lead us if we have any problems in life? Can you handle that? Can you handle if, God forbid, something happened with your work and you had to reinvent yourself? Can you handle if she had to get pregnant and her body changes? Let's talk real here. I'm talking to boys, or am I talking to men? If I'm talking to men, let's talk for real. Her body will change when you meet her. Am I with a boy that can't handle that, or am I with a man that loves that about a woman? That part too. Because he gets that's part of what happens when you love a woman. And vice versa. If you're looking for the full woman, she's looking for a full man. I'm going to be with you through thick and thin, but can you handle thick and thin is what she's thinking. You know, if you have to get a woman like me, yeah, I can do that. I can be with you. Come on, let's do this. I will be there. I'll be praying with you. I'll be getting there. I'm going to help you. I'm a coach, so I'm going to keep you strong. I'm going to love you. I'm going to be an empathic support leader as well. But are you going to break? I'm going to do my part. But are you going to break is what she's looking at. And she's looking for that early on. And I don't blame her for it. And that's what I'm looking for. Because guess what? She may have had some toxic relationships. And she's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'd rather stay alone. And that's what's happening. Statistics are showing that women have the upper hand now because they're holding out. They're like, I don't really want a relationship then. I'll stay alone. And you know, women do better alone than men do. And we're learning this. Men can't handle that women are holding out like this. But what's happening is the men are not growing up. So when we talk about communication skills, let's talk about what age are you? Because you can only speak, a little toddler can only say a certain amount of words. We talked about nonverbal. Let's talk about verbal. Little babies can only say but so much. And what are we doing with our words? We're trying to express our feelings, right? We're expressing what we're feeling, what we're wanting. That's what communication is. So we teach the little child how to talk. Then they turn to 4, 5, 6, and they should be better at it. I should be able to know when my child is hungry, sleepy, tired, everything. They should be able to tell me a little bit more. They might not want to tell me the truth, so they learn how to do sophisticated communication where they might be lying about the fact that they're sleepy, right? Or that they're hungry. They really want this dessert. They don't want to eat dinner. So they're getting sophisticated. So as you know, as a licensed leader, teacher, and with my degrees, I've studied the different stages of development of human in their mindset. And what we learned is that there are different stages that everyone goes through when they're developing in their minds to be mature for that age. And what the Piaget's study is, a very famous philosopher study and doctor study, is that many people don't pass the 6th grade in their mental growth. And we talked before about adverse childhood experiences. When you have traumas when you're younger, you're stunted a lot of times at that age. Some of you may have had traumas. How would you know? These are things that will come out and I can help you with, so you can actually get over those things and you can begin to work through them. I encourage you now that if you think you have, you should get a therapist and start working through that yourself personally before working with a coach. So you at least have some idea of what has happened, and you can bring some more things to the table and we can bring it to the thriving level. So now we know that there is a developmental stage of communication, because this is a developmental stage of your mindset and how your understanding of the world around you and yourself and God and everything. Then there's this other layer of your psychology and your psychological well-being. You could be stunted for many reasons. There could be laziness. There could be the person that raised you doesn't know how to raise you any further than that. You've never been called to. A lot of young boys, as time went on, as the women were called to do more and were taking on masculine roles and starting to be treated that way, the men are starting to not be expected to do those masculine things. And they're more allowed to just be boys. We're getting confused with what the role of a man is. And so now we just think, oh, the boys want to keep playing video games past 6th grade, going 7th grade, we're going to high school, they're becoming adults. Well, I guess if they could, they're paying their bills and they're not hurting anybody, are they? Yeah, they're stunted. They're boys in men's bodies paying bills. Period. And so now they want love. And they want to know why the women aren't interested, because she's growing and you're going backwards. She's like, I can't be with a boy. I got to be with a man. It's not that I don't want to be with a man. It's that I'm not going to go backwards to be with a man. I need a man at my level or more. And all these years we're teaching women to do that. I've taught women to do that. And now we're unequally yoked here. So now I want to speak to those men who have been growing and they have been taking care of themselves. And what happens with women is that they look past those men. Sometimes they're the nerds, you know what I mean? There are the nerds that play the games, but what about the guys that actually did it right? You know, maybe they're not the nerds, maybe they aren't, whatever. But whatever it is, they took life seriously. They took their courses here. They wanted to grow. They wanted to learn. Wherever there was an opportunity to be better, they did. So a lot of women are not attracted to them naturally because movies don't teach us to be attracted to these guys. So my job is to have you show up so that they see, listen, you don't got much choice here, first of all. And I am that guy. Look at the way I sit. Look at the way I look at you. Look at the way I flirt. Look at the way I'm calmly smiling. And the things I say are sophisticated. They're at a level where a leader would talk. I'm already having conversations about things that are biblical, possibly. Things that are godly, not overbearing, narcissistic, selfish, and lording over. That is not going to work. That is a child. A fully adjusted man will have empathy, and that means if I were in her shoes, how would I want someone to lead me? Let me let that sit for a second. Write that down. If you got nothing out of this video, just write that down for your communication skills and see what words come out. Maybe videotape yourself after answering that question. Let me let that sink in. I'll repeat it. If I were in her shoes with her degrees and her looks and her everything, how would I want a man to lead me? How do leaders lead leaders? She's obviously a leader now at this point. People follow her at work. Maybe she leads a team at work. She's doing something. If anything, she's leading herself. Someone's following her if she's out there doing her thing. Respect that and say, wow, if I were her, who would I follow? And that's going to give you some answers. You should start writing those ideas down. That's something to get you started now. You can begin to show up and attract the right woman God has for you for a joyful, lasting marriage by starting off on the right foot from the beginning in your communication skills as an empathic leader. And that's the first step, is to put yourself in her place. Exercise your empathic ability. If you're at work, you should be doing that at work too. If you want me to speak at your events virtually or in person, definitely connect with me. My email's in the description, and I can do that to help you with your team to keep them there. Can have that be a lasting relationship as well, because we're losing a lot of people at work. But this is the reason. The leaders are not empathic. You can't lord over people that follow you. Gone are the days when you could do something like that and get away with it because empaths didn't know any better. Now we know better. Now people who follow leaders know better, and they have options. So now that we all have options, and now we're all connected in the world, so we can all connect. So we don't really need the guy in my town or the girl in my town. You don't need her. You could actually go online and find someone. Now you got to up your game because she doesn't need you either. How will you make yourself, and this is a made up word, needable? Make yourself needable. Come on, you can do that. And you know how you can do it because the odds are for you. Because if most men, the statistics are showing that 60%, over 60% of men are not getting, they're not getting the woman because the women are not having it anymore. They have surpassed them in that developmental stage mentally. And the men in their dating pool are children. Doesn't matter if they have the cars, doesn't matter. Many of those kinds of guys are narcissists because they focused only on that. Put yourself in her shoes. And do me a favor, don't go on those sites and those those channels where men are bashing modern women. Because that's not going to help you communicate. Because what I said before is what's going on inside that she sees, and the words just further express it. So if you've been putting garbage in your head about modern women and about women, how do you think you're going to show up when you see her? You think you can hide that? That's going to come out in your words. You're going to be dropping skeletons. I can read it. I can read a person and what they're really, as a high empath, the highest, rarest empath, as you've seen in all my other videos, you don't have to say much to me. And I can tell that you're narcissistic. Now it's like a minute. Give me like a minute, I can tell a person is a narcissist. Sometimes before they even talk. And I can help you with that, with red flags and with boundaries. We talked a little bit about that before, and in our next few videos, I'll get into that a little bit more, and I'll try to give you more specifics on boundaries and on red flags. But for now, take that note and do that exercise of putting yourself in. If you truly are an empathic man that is Christian and traditional, and you're looking to attract the right woman for a joyful, lasting marriage, this is something that is worth doing this exercise, to literally think of this woman. Maybe she's in your life already and you want to talk to her and you don't know how to approach her. You want to use these leadership skills in communication to speak to her. Maybe she's around you. You want her body language, show it. But this is the deal. You need to be prepared for the conversation, and it's got to be really who you are. So you can do the skill and do the best you can. But if you really want to become that person that really is truly just showing up that way, it's who you are, then I can actually put you through that a process to get you there. In a very short amount of time, you can actually show up as that person. In about 6 to 8 weeks, we can work together. And in that time, within that time, it could be earlier, depending on who it is, you can actually show up as this person that you didn't even think you had in you. And it's truly you. It's really you. I'm going to bring out that in you. Okay? And you're going to naturally be doing these communication skills that are going to wow her. And you're going to stand out. And this is the easiest time to stand out. Think about it. With the statistics where men are single because women aren't having it. Well, think of those women in your head and think about what they would want. You know what I mean? You can even study it, but don't go on those channels where they're bashing these women or talking negative, and every video is about negative. They just need content. They're not here to help you actually find love like I'm doing, and any other coach that's truly here for you to do that. So the first bit of homework that you need is to not go on those channels anymore. Go to my channel. This is where I actually talk about the modern woman, but the type of modern woman that you're going to want is traditionally modern, if there's such a thing. I think I'm that. We're talking about traditionally modern women, and a lot of times we take terms and we just bash it so much that we turn this good term into a bad term. So many terms right now, there's nothing wrong with saying that or the term, but because we have gaslighted that term so much, if you can do a term, an inanimate thing, so much that now we're all afraid to say the word. We've changed the meaning of the word to be a bad thing. It's not bad to be modern. It's just not good to have no tradition. And as Christians, we need to be traditionally modern. Amen? So you can be a modern guy where you're like, okay, women today work and they're proud of what they do, and I don't want to stop her from being that. I'm just going to make sure I'm at a level where I could actually let her look up to me. That's how you do it. That's how we solve this modern thing. We can't put the baby back in the belly. It's already born, this modern thing. So to sit on a video, on a YouTube channel and just bash it and talk bad about it all the time. Sure, there are groups of women that are doing it the wrong way, in a low level way that's detrimental to herself and everyone around. Those aren't the women we're interested in. This is why I said attract the right woman. We're not interested in those women. And you've got to get that out of your head that you're interested in those women, because just because TV says that everybody else is, you're set apart. If you claim to be Christian, you are set apart. Those are not the women you want anyway. Okay? So if you want to know more about, I'm going to wrap this up with a little bit more about boundaries and red flags. And from there, we are going to go ahead and if you have any questions for me, let me know. Definitely comment in the comment below. Go click on my webinar where I go more deep about what my course is about. Click on the Calendly link if you think you're already ready to work with me and you just want to know a few more questions to see how it all goes. And I can see if it's an actual fit for what you're looking for. All right. So if you want to go from being lonely and not being able to share this wonderful life you have to finally attracting the right woman so you can find her, attract her, and you can actually have this joyful, lasting marriage. But you're going to build it on a wonderful foundation with me in the beginning so that you can do that. Please, I'd love to help you. All right. Just one more time to let you know that at the time of this video, God's giving this gift of 25 men getting a free coaching sessions with me that are worth $225 an hour. But I'm giving this session away to you because God has led me to. I have no explanation for it except for obedience in the Lord. And there are 23 more available. So if that's something you'd like my help with, that would be my delight to do for you. And it is not my course though, and it's not going to give you the outcome that the course is promising, but it will help you with any immediate things that you might need. Okay? Well, God bless you. I look forward to working with you. Bye.